Hello, I am Spooderman.
And it's me.
Dr. Octagonopus!
Yeah, there you go. We're the hosts. We're the only hosts of the ERB cast, and today we, as expertise within the ERB department, are going to break down the second episode and epic rap battles of history, Adolf Hitler versus Darth Vader, which is objectively has to be the battle that skyrocketed them into the stratosphere of YouTube popularity, really. Because Lenin versus O'Reilly definitely did not do that shit at all. But yeah, this pretty much just transcended everything you knew about rap battles, essentially. I'm sure many could maybe chime in with other minor references, but despite that, this is the battle that truly did redefine them, pretty much gave them their career, essentially, and they owe it a lot to this battle in particular.
Oh yeah, for sure. Breathed life into this, basically the genre that is the rap battles as we know them today. So in the sense that this is kind of like a landmark in YouTube, I'd say. Like not just because we are so into ERB that we know this is the one that really got them the views that they really wanted to take off with, but just the fact that it even existed for a time that both of them were popular, Vader and Hitler, but this really like showed that if you do your work with getting everything right for the characters, the lines, even if they improve much later on in the series with different ways of doing the rap battles, this one is really, like, to me, still holds up as being great, even if they got better stuff later on. But really just the fact that it still has memorable lines, jokes, all that. I'd say it's basically the first time of the few that we've already reviewed, the first one and then the newer ones. But no, we're actually getting to one that we actually really enjoy.
That's right.
And of course, we already know how the meme goes. A lot of people actually got into the community thanks to the meme here. So we'll get to that, of course, just as it starts.
Epic rap battles of history! Darth Vader versus Adolf Hitler! Begin!
I am Adolf Hitler, commander of the Third Reich. Little known fact, also dope on the mic.
Man, there is just so many edits I always saw of these, I am Adolf Hitler, and then everyone knows it's ERB. Like that, this has to be just at this point the most iconic. It used to be maybe Jobs versus Gates, maybe Obama versus Romney, but man, that start, it's such a memorable start. If you combine the trilogy, it is basically the most viewed rap battle videos together. But this one's still like the one where you really like know you're in for a treat just as it starts, just the way he delivers that.
Yeah, not only that though, it's just the figures themselves. The matchup itself is already enticing as it is. It's just hey, it's like arguably the biggest villain in film history, and versus the most notorious and the most historical landscape. So that right there pretty much defined rap battles right here. All thanks to this piece of shit German, but yeah.
Yeah, I will say the matchup, even though it does sound great, I know Peter like really wanted to go through it because at first he was like, "Oh, no more Hitler matchups. We're good now." But then he sees this one and immediately goes like, "Work on it." Now I do think it's a little flawed just on the fact that Star Wars is based a lot of the Empire stuff on the Nazis. But aside from that, no, this is like a perfect way to encapsulate what makes their style of rap battles so great just from the very near beginning. Now, as for the lines themselves,
right.
I don't think that there's too much to really go off with it. He's just saying, "Oh, I'm Adolf Hitler, commander of the Reich," like an introductory sort of line. As ERB kept going on with those, they got a little stale in certain seasons. But now the fact that he goes with little known fact, also dope on the mic, I don't think people were really as, for a while, Hitler wasn't really like a huge like studied figure as he would be now. If you know the modern political landscape, you know why he's more studied now. But also dope on the mic. Yeah, it wasn't as known then, but now you can really like be aware of the fact Hitler was one of the most influential orators. Like he has such a sort of depth to his style of speaking. Like he even studied how he should perfect it. He basically grew from being like introverted and not really type of person to really be outspoken on issues to what he is known now. He is terrible obviously in all that. The fact that he's already bringing that into like I am at least known to have such a great mic skill. So in rapping, this is already a decent way to put it to that. Like you wouldn't put two and two together, and Lloyd just managed to figure it out.
Oh yeah, this is wonderful. Basic but somehow charming of an introduction.
Yep.
You are Vader, with your little boots and cape and helmet to cover up that burnt ass face.
Now, I think this one's a little simple. It's, just him calling him pretty ugly. Oh, you got a little bit of cape and boots to flaunt as if you're some sort of villain, but you're really not much of that. I think it doesn't land a lot here. It's just like a kind of filler. But I do get what he's going to call him ugly ass face for that lava that he had to endure.
Yeah, expect to see or hear, I meant to say, but also seeing, because you're seeing subtitles being displayed. But most of season one, yeah, some of the writing is not exactly too tightened. How they refining themselves as they went on. Yeah, season one writing is a little bit premature in a way. Obviously, it's not as tight as they would eventually find themselves writing wise as it got better as it went on. But yeah, I don't know. I actually kind of like the childish insults a little bit. I don't know what it is, because you're obviously not going to hear this in any other season besides this one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty funny as Hitler kind of grasping for straws of what to insult him with himself. And I do like how Vader is kind of, well, I don't know, less reciprocate to his insults, so he doesn't really seem to care. Right after we get to this verse, but you'll see, because his portrayal is pretty I quite like it. It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, that's also why they call it season one charm. It just does have that sort of feeling that it's more like skits rather than like rap battles to try to get down to the best points that they can make. But right now it's just like, throwing whatever because it's funny.
That's right.
The force to move objects. I am a force truly evil. Even went back in time and turned you back as a prequel.
Man, this line is kind of funny, but I also don't really get it too much. You can't really pin down a definition to it, but it is funny. He's like, yeah, I went back in time and I also made you a little crazy boy in the prequels. But I'm trying to figure it out. I think at best you can say that Hitler was an influence to Vader and Palpatine to an extent. Maybe like the connection of him turning to the dark side because of Palpatine and Hitler. Like in a way, this battle kind of suffers from like they're talking about, oh, I came before you, I did all the stuff before you, but Hitler was like, oh no, well, I was the one who's an actual like influence. So it's between those. It kind of bothers me in that way, but yeah, if I'm trying to decipher the line, that's how I'm putting it.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a little premature how they kind of deliver and convey the lines that they're supposed to be attended. It's not going to be as hard hitting, unfortunately, but hey, can't really fault them. This is their second battle after all, so.
Yeah.
Hey, there's room for improvement, as evident in the sequels. We'll get to eventually. Don't worry, in due time. And by that I mean probably 2 years or more, whatever. Anyway.
Look at you! You're not even a real person. I preferred you in Spaceballs, the Rick Moranis version.
Well, I quite like how Vader's doing the robot for that part, trying to figure out, oh, am I real? Am I not? And then then Hitler just goes like, I prefer the Rick Moranis version, but Rick Moranis is Jewish, and not only that, Mel Brooks is Jewish. We saw Spaceballs, that Jewish princess joke. Oh, funny, she doesn't look Jewish. So they like to poke themselves fun with that kind of stuff. But yeah, if Hitler's saying even the Jewish version of you, that one's better, because Hitler did like his comedy films. Fun fact. So yeah, it's a funny way to end it, I'd say.
Wow, that line hits a lot harder than it should have. It's a lot funnier now that you said that, especially considering the fact what he's done to those people. But it's not exactly. It's both. It's the greatest form of dark comedy. Okay, it's oh my god, it's not supposed to be funny, Jesus, but it's simultaneously hilarious. But it's not supposed to be funny.
Oh yeah, but we'll get to his peak in a bit.
They really had no chill.
Can't rhyme against the dark side of the force, why even bother? So many dudes been with your mom, who even knows if I'm your father?
Man, I love this line so much. To me, he won the battle with that one. Who even knows if I'm your father? So many dudes been with your mom. Like, to me, this one, it feels very much like a 2010s joke, because it is. But it also feels like it's going to go beyond time. Like, people will remember this from the battle. They'll remember the shower line. We're getting to that. But, man, I love Vader's delivery. I know Peter really made his voice sound cool to actually get to that James Earl Jones rip voice. That to me really makes the battle as well. Like, if it could have been like him trying out to just be serious Vader, but instead he's just like going all out as if he's gangster Vader with the chains and all around his neck.
And that's the best part. And plus, you already know who you definitely came to watch this video to see who you want to root for. In this case, I mean, come on, who wouldn't want to vote for Darth Vader? I mean, come on.
Yeah, well, he proved himself next time, though. We'll obviously get to that.
Yep, that's right.
You're a pissed off little prick with a Napoleon dick. You call that a mustache? I call that dirty Sanchez on your lip. You
Now, I did not know much of what a Dirty Sanchez was when I first watched it, obviously. But yeah, when you find out, ooh, yeah, it's such a great diss in that aspect. I do think his run ends here for this verse, though. After this, it gets a little wonky, but and to go like pissed off little prick, Napoleon dick, Dirty Sanchez on your lip. Like that's a great run to me.
I mean, well, not only that. I mean, the best part about it is just listen. They wrote this in completely of Vader's favor. Obviously, it's quite obvious. But oh my goodness, it's the fact that he dished out diss after diss after diss, even if it's a little, again, just a little juvenile. Obviously, I know this, again, like I just said, this is still season 1 charm. But even despite that, it's just diss after diss after diss after diss. He just won't ever stop. It just won't ever stop because they themselves are aware that Hitler does not need any sort of enlightening as a figure. So so no need to make light out of him though, because we all know he's a scumbag. So yeah. I don't mind Vader going off, but yeah.
For sure. There is this one comment on this ERB where it's said, if Darth Vader was a real person, we'd obviously hate him as much as Hitler, but if Hitler were a fictional character, we'd actually love him as much as Darth Vader. So there is something to think about when it comes to, like, Vader's obviously one we're rooting for, but that's only because he's not real.
The ERB shower thoughts for you people.
Oh, we'll get to that shower thought.
Yeah, speaking of.
bitch, let me remind you who you're messing with. Everything that you did, I'm the motherfucker who invented it.
Yeah, when I say before that it was a little bit of, strange stuff to kind of add as lines, like Vader coming first, even though he came after Hitler stuff. I know it's like Star Wars happened before Hitler's time, supposedly, as George Lucas wanted to put it, but I don't know, it doesn't really feel like it lands as well. But, even then, I don't mind the line because it's obviously far from the worst season 1 has to offer.
I agree wholeheartedly. This isn't too bad, but could have been a little bit tweaked, but hey, what can you expect?
The original Dark Lord, you're like the sorcerer's apprentice. My stormtroopers make yours look like someone took a piece of shit and cloned it.
Yeah, okay, so this one's a little also. Some people do have issue, I definitely get why. The highlight was more Vader's first half than second half. But I do think ending it on, like, my stormtroopers make yours look like someone took a piece of shit and cloned it. I think it's a funny wordplay. Obviously, Hitler comes back on him for the third battle with it. But right now, yeah, I think it's a nice usage of, like, the clone troopers and all.
Yeah, but it's just really hilarious. I mean, like you just said earlier, Vader's just looking for anything to absolutely destroy his opponent with. And in this case, yeah, I mean, if Vader knew someone a lot more vile than he is, I would imagine, yeah, he would also be a little bit pissed. I mean, I'm trying to think of this in a more in-character thing, because I mean, I know Vader's pretty ruthless as a villain in general, but at least I would think he has decency, question mark. I don't know, I'm not too familiar with the Star Wars lore. So outside of, like, very minimal amount of things that I know via basic information, but even despite that, I'd imagine, I mean, yeah, Vader's just trying to put him in the grave, which they have. Spoiler alert, if you guys care about that. No, not really.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is ERB.
And I the only thing I have in terms of rewriting for this one line in particular, I actually do have something that could have worked a little better. So I said the Dark Lord versus the artwork rejected sorcerer's apprentice, because at least there's an internal rhyme that sounds more interesting rather than just like he claims that he's Dark Lord and all. Because I do think the Sorcerer's Apprentice angle, because it came from a Goethe poem, I do think it may have been intentional that way because he's a German writer. But it's like saying that the Sith Lords being like a sort of dark sorcerer. I think it's that's what they were trying to get at with this one.
Yeah.
Zeke Vader, your star smells something sour. You need to wash up, dog. Here, step in my shower.
Yeah, everyone went crazy for that line. I do quite really like that it's good dark humor. Like it. Here's the thing with this line. The focus is very much not just like, oh, Hitler just used showers, and like you're supposed to know that information and connect it with what he's offering here, which makes the joke really land. Because otherwise, if it's less subtle, if it's more on the nose, it's not going to be as funny. But him just going like that, as he knows what he's doing a really cheeky joke with that. Yeah, that's definitely why it's a classic.
Not to mention Lloyd's facial expressions kind of sell it. So you can tell he's not really taking it too seriously, even if the context is really dark.
Oh, yeah.
So that's actually the best part about it.
Yeah, he just loves being a campy little dictator.
Oh, of course. Hey, look at this little shit. Fucking short-faced motherfucker. Sorry. Anyway,
Yeah.
Turn all your friends against you. Just my speeches breed haters. What's your lightsaber verse a clan of all your white neighbors?
Yeah, now that one, I like that it's the, lightsaber, white neighbors, haters. Lloyd is really proving himself with like his versatility in rap, just in the very start of it, because he was also the same way in O'Reilly versus Lennon, but then here he's also putting on the accent and also like just giving a great performance.
his performance here, even for season 1 standards, is actually pretty. I think it actually holds up fairly well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he
So
really sells it that he'll really get anyone to turn on you. And Vader really has that type of paranoia. Obviously, you know the whole story with him. Like, that's a good way to get at him.
that's right. So that's
Suck my
window.
robot ball. Now take a step back and let me freeze yours off. A little.
Okay, I think the comedic aspect of having Darth Vader's breath just take up half the line, then he just goes like, "Suck my robot balls." To me, that explaining that aspect is kind of funnier than the joke itself, because I can't imagine him actually being like, yeah, these balls, they're made from mechanical parts. How about you suck them? And then he gets Hitler back in the carbonite. Now I'm gonna freeze yours off. It's hilarious stuff.
Oh my god. Oh, this. Oh my god. I mean, it sounds kind of worse when you say it out loud, but I mean, within the context of this, it's actually pretty hilarious. But then visually, it makes up for it though too. Like, I mean, like you just said, this battle does such an excellent job. Just the humor in season 1 is so unmatched. Oh my god,
Yeah.
this is just genius
Yeah.
stuff. I can't get enough of this.
Yeah, an appreciation for the carbonite effect, because I do think they said that was actually the hardest part to edit, I believe. So from here, they can only just keep going up, and eventually they do.
Yep, that's right.
Carbonite
This is
back.
exactly
For your
it.
stepping ass. We'll call my homeboy in
landmark.
Israel. See who got the last laugh.
Well, so the Israel line also aged a little weirdly. Definitely something to end on, but in modern day. But man, I don't know. Still, even then, the fact that this is kind of more like a sketch of them going about it. Like, what if Darth Vader were rapping against Adolf Hitler and then just keeps like randomly mentioning things? Like, obviously he wouldn't know Israel, but he's like, I got my homeboy stationed there, and it's just stormtrooper. He's on vacation. He's got his little white shirt tee, and hold on.
For your goop stepping ass. We'll call my home.
The stormtrooper here, like it's like casual Friday to him with his like white shirt. I think there's hair coming out of his sides. I don't think anyone noticed that, bro. I think, I don't know for the first, but like, what is the hair? I didn't know they had holes in the helmets like that.
Hey, somehow has more of a budget than Spaceballs. I don't know what that meant, but like either way, this is Morgan Christensen, everyone, as the stormtrooper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
ERB
Say
managed to
hello
get him.
Morgan. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I can't believe that still. Pretty outstanding. I like that. This man has a lot of credentials to his name.
With the
As
costumes.
the stormtrooper just on a casual day. So here he is. And he does make a return eventually in another season, but in a forgettable battle that sucked, but that literally sucked. Anyway, I'm here all day.
All right. I was also gonna say, I like the detail that Vader apparently has his suit connected as a phone, and he does little beep boop on his buttons there. And also before that, when he was like, he's just throwing out random shit like your goose stepping ass. See who got the last laugh? Because I mean, he comes back anyway. He didn't want to have just the last laugh. He wanted the last laugh.
Yeah, talk about being a little petty, but hey, I guess that does kind of fit into Vader's character.
Of course.
I mean,
course.
he would kind of do anything to satisfy his villainous needs, and in this case, beating Hitler again. Well, I mean, the sequel's kind of up for debate, but that's depending on how you view things. But
We'll see.
yeah, we'll get to that eventually in 10 years.
Just to finish it out, I do want to say about the Napalm SV comment. He's not the first one, actually. He's probably more like the fourth to comment it. So I did point that out in the other video. The first Darth Vader versus Hitler comment came before Lennon versus O'Reilly. Interesting fact. And yeah, but luckily it still managed to get their attention somehow. So they managed to do this and really turn their life around from that.
Absolutely. This completely, I mean, as I stated so many times, this completely redefined their whole direction going forward, essentially.
Mhm.
Because after this, you could tell they were still kind of working in the inner mechanisms of how they work. The inner mechanisms of their minds are an enigma.
Mhm.
But anyhow, this. But even despite that, no, they owe a lot to this battle, and they're more than aware that they wouldn't really be where they are now if it wasn't for this little capsule. And also, it still kind of represents 2000s, well, late 2000s, 2010s, that era of YouTube. Kind of a golden age, essentially, is what they started, and a lot of other rap battle creators follow suit after this magnificent work of that they ended up conjuring up. So.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
this is wonderful. It's really blossoming in the making, essentially.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, this is just wonderful, even if it's a little rough around the edges. I quite like it.
Yeah, I know some people will say, it's dated, they did better. Even then, I think this should land in like B tier at minimum for rap battles. Probably not even A tier or really C tier. I think B tier is good enough for it. It's definitely well above average. If anything, more like an A tier ERB meme and more like S tier YouTube video.
Yeah, it's got everything that a golden age stale video would want. Hell, you got presentation, you got meme-worthy characters, especially with Vader's no. Obviously that was such a recurring theme, especially in YouTube poops, if you guys know.
Oh yeah.
But and Hitler just kind of a meme within itself, even if he's a little. I mean, the context of him is really dark. If you know a lot about him, which in this case most everyone does.
Yep.
Otherwise, this battle won't have 1 million views. So, gee, wait a minute, a fictional character and a historical character? Wow,
They should do that more
like
often.
this formula works out. Yeah, they should. Not purely just historical and purely fictional, which in this case, those should be in sporadic doses, my opinion.
Yeah.
And Pwner over here also shares the same sentiment, essentially.
Yeah, it's a good blend when they do that.
Yeah, I know. It's always welcoming, and it's personally my favorite type of format of ideas, best of both worlds, despite a lot of people saying otherwise. But, suck my robot balls, even if I don't have any. So I don't care what you say.
Gonna point out just a few of them comments. And obviously with this being tied in so much to the Kanye Hitler meme, so Kanye's new album looking fire so far, and that actually got a great amount of likes, 121,000. This video gains another 10 million views every time a famous person does something anti-Semitic. That's actually funny. I'm Adolf Hitler's delivered
It's a time capsule. It just rejuvenates every single time.
I'm Adolf Hitler's delivered so passionately as if the actor was bottling up his inner Kanye West for entire decades just to let it out on the video. Imagine the recording process. Dude's recording this in a house. Old veteran walks by that house and suddenly I'm Adolf Hitler. Even though they had it in the studio, as we know. And now we'll be back next time when we can for the third rap battle with a special guest you may not actually have expected. So stay tuned for that surprise.
Oh, yeah. I can't believe that's actually going to happen. I'm quite eager. It's going to be a little bit to differentiate, but either way, we'll see you guys next time when we can for the next battle.